everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Angel Storm. I'm the founder of Ashes to Beauty Ministries, and I am talking to you today about some simple questions you can ask yourself to find out the cause of the bitterness towards the narcissist that may be existing in your own soul. Now, I know that when I say that, it might seem like I know the root of the bitterness. The root is that they lied to me, that there was gaslighting, that there was cheating or manipulation, that they turned people against me, that they used me. Whatever your reasons may be, there's always deeper emotional issues than like that surface level answer. And today that's really what I'm talking to you about. So I'm going to go through 7 questions that you can ask yourself, that you can go through whenever you may start to remember a painful memory from the narcissist, or if something starts to trigger some sort of unsettling feeling inside of you and you're not exactly sure where that's coming from or why that specific situation is hitting a nerve with you. But really recognizing bitterness is one of the most important things that you can do for your own mental health. And since we're in this time of quarantine and things are slower, when things get slower, a lot of times our deep issues start to bubble up to the surface. And so I want to give you kind of a roadmap about how you can deal with these things, how you can identify them first of all, and then what you can do about them once you've identified them. So Bill Johnson is one of my absolute favorite people ever. He's an amazing speaker. He has great wisdom and insight, and he says that bitterness is murder in diapers, meaning if you don't get rid of that bitterness, it will destroy, it will murder either people, it will cause physical damage to your relationships, it will kill your dreams, it will destroy the person that you should have become. And so really, again, recognizing bitterness is one of the most deep works and deep gifts that you can give to yourself. And especially, again, in this time when we are doing social distancing and life just really isn't looking like the normal setup that we are used to having, it's super important that we pay attention to the things that are coming up. So first, number 1 is to pay attention to your thoughts. And I talk about this a lot in some of my previous videos, and you may have heard me talking about how to establish a baseline for yourself, and this is doing these regular check-ins with yourself, paying attention to the types of thoughts you're having and the emotional state that you're feeling inside, and also the state of your body. So physically, are you sitting like clenched with your muscles, a lot of tension? Is your jaw clenched? Paying attention to those kinds of things will always give you a signal that there's something going on, that there's something that needs to get worked out. So pay attention to your thoughts. Do you find yourself continuously thinking negatively about a person, specifically the narcissist, or wishing something bad would happen to the narcissist? Do you want them to pay for what they did to you? And this is one of the, again, signs that there is bitterness taking root into your heart, and it's really important that you get it out as soon as possible, because when it's a baby plant, you know, it's easy to pull that out, but if it's a full-blown oak tree, we need to call in experts to have that removed. And it's the same thing works with our thoughts. We can have healthy thought trees in our brains which form actual patterns, which form actual molecules and proteins in our brains. So thoughts are real things. They make a physical element in our brains, and we can at any time decide that we want to think about something differently or have a different outlook or a different type of mindset towards something. So neuroplasticity is amazing for that reason. But so that's number 1. Number 2, pay attention to your words. Are you constantly complaining about what somebody, specifically the narcissist, did to you? Is that the topic of the conversation a lot of times when you're speaking with people? Telling your story and the truth about the consequences that you have gone through is different than complaining and hoping somebody will join you in that hate. And again, this goes to show how trees grow. right? They spread out their roots, and trees in the natural, they can actually get other nutrients from other trees. And so if you are trying to give off your bitterness to other people, and if somebody doesn't have that same feeling of bitterness towards a narcissist that you do, how does that make you feel? Do you resent that person? Do you feel like they're not a true friend? Paying attention to the words that you're using when you convey your story or speak about your story to other people can really show you what's hidden deep within your own heart. And again, the type of energy, the type of material that you're putting out into the lives of other people as well. So number 3, when trusted family or friends try to give you their advice, are you often offended or hostile to their suggestions? Do you believe everybody is out to get you or to take from you? So again, this, I understand that sometimes we have toxic family members. We have people who are going to always defend the narcissist and their behaviors and their actions and things like that. And that's not what I'm talking about. When somebody presents to you an alternative view on the situation, how do you initially react? And paying attention to that first feeling when it comes up is extremely important, because that first feeling, it determines the second feeling and the second action that you're going to do with that feeling. So you might not really want to hear what somebody else has to say, but are you willing to sit down and have a conversation with them and hear the alternative viewpoint that they are trying to offer you? Because if you think that they're just trying to defend the narcissist, you might miss the analogy or the other viewpoint that they're trying to present to you. And oftentimes, in my experience, what people were actually trying to do was to pull me out of this deep pit that I kind of dug my own self into. And so when we can take a look at, this is coming from a place of love, I can trust this person has my best interests in mind. When we can do that, then we're able to receive what they have to say, and sometimes we're able to quickly and immediately change our perspective and allow all of the associated negative emotions and also toxic thoughts to go along with that. So instead of thinking that that person just wants you to fail, that person's always going to be defending your enemy, now you can start to see, this person really loves me, they just wanted what's best for me, and they were trying in the way that they knew how to get me to see their perspective or an alternative perspective so that I could have a better frame of mind and a more healthy mindset. Okay, question 4. So when you see other people being blessed or receiving good things coming into their lives, do you feel as though they don't deserve it, but that you do? Do you find yourself comparing your situation with theirs? Like, well, I also went through such and such a thing, and so therefore I deserve X, Y, and Z as this person. Or do you feel like that person didn't even work for it, and in the meantime, I put all of my energy and effort into this relationship that ended up not working, and it was due to the other person not working. What are the kinds of reactions you're having when you see somebody else having good things come into their lives? Are you happy for them? Do you celebrate with them? And if not, that's a sign that there's bitterness. And again, it can result from one action over here, and yet it's infiltrating all of your life. And again, this is what I'm trying to say with recognizing the fact that you will become what you hate if you don't take captive the thoughts that you are thinking, the words that you are speaking, and really resolve those issues at the deepest root level, because otherwise that same stuff can continue to grow and spring up. So moving on to number 5, are you annoyed by happy or cheerful people? Does it irritate you when people are always in a good mood? Do you think that those who are confident are annoying and that you deserve to be in the position that they're in? And do you believe statements like, that could have been me, but so-and-so treated me in such and such a way, and therefore I don't have that same opportunity? Jealousy and bitterness are closely connected. And I have an upcoming forgiveness mentorship course that's part of my overall Unmoved mentoring program. The first one of those is Life After Narcissism. The second one is Forgiveness. And the third one is called Growing in Trust. And it's about establishing boundaries and how to set and enforce them. But when we talk a lot about this in that forgiveness class, because you will understand that sometimes you think like, no, it's not a jealousy issue, but when you really start revealing the deeper things, the motives, it's actually absolutely connected to jealousy. So number 6, do you find yourself against a whole group of people because of one person's actions or event in your life? For example, do you believe that all men are evil or that all police officers are corrupt? And sometimes, quite honestly, I'm approached by men who have in the past been upset that my ministry didn't offer services for them. And the reason really was twofold. One, I didn't feel called to handle that or to tackle that specific group of people's needs. And number 2, I didn't feel equipped to do so. I didn't believe that I had enough support around me in order to be able to handle that. And so now my ministry is 2 years old, and it turned 2 in January, and just now I'm starting to expand my services to help men. But it took that long because things have to grow. They require time to build, and especially when you're reaching out to help others. It was never because I hated, a group of people. But if you can find yourself starting to attribute to an entire group of people the actions or the thoughts, the words of one specific person, that's a good sign that there's some bitterness issues in there that need to be resolved, some healing that needs to happen there. And finally, the 7th question, do you look for ways to justify your behaviors, your attitude, your thoughts, and your words? This includes finding other people who support your view, specifically gravitating to them and never hearing the outside opinion, getting into kind of a groupthink mentality. If you are taking words out of context, and you're so set in your ways as opposed to seeking to do the right thing, this can easily turn into you becoming the abuser, specifically when it comes to spiritual abuse. If you're trying to find, religious documents, religious texts that support your point of view, if you're trying to manipulate others when they don't have your view, this is the point where I'm talking about becoming the thing that you hate. You were abused, and so therefore you become the abuser. And we know that this is a cycle that repeats itself no matter what kind of abuse you're talking about. And so again, it's just really important that you have these things, you are honest about these things when you are asking or answering these questions that I just asked you. And what to do then if you have come to say yes to some of these things. I would really write down, yes, I do this, and then start asking yourself the question why. I have a whole mini training on this on my Instagram, which I put in the description of this video if you want to go through and watch that quick training, and there's a little guide that can help you. But ask yourself why 5 times. So after you answer the first why do you believe that answer you just gave? And continue to do that for 5 times, and usually by the time you get to the 5th answer, you're going to find the root. And if you feel like you haven't found the root, give it a minute, come back tomorrow and ask yourself those questions again. And each time you're going to uncover something deeper, because possibly the thing that you think is stemming from the narcissist, or the things that you have gone through with the narcissist, could potentially go back as far as your own childhood. Maybe that's why you were attracted to the narcissist in the first place. And so really, again, being able to identify the root will not only help you to pull out this tree of bitterness that's trying to grow in your life and choke out all of the things that are good and will bring life into you, but also it will help you to identify the things that you need to be planting there instead. So, for example, let's say the real root here is rejection. You need to start replacing that with reminders of how you are accepted, of surrounding yourself by people who do accept you, of recalling all of the relationships that you have that are true, with people who truly know you, who you can be yourself with, and start replacing toxic thoughts and toxic memories with the truth. And this is going to help you then to start doing this. Your brain will learn, this is the way that I start to think, and it will start doing that when you're presented with current situations and new future situations as well. So I hope this video has helped you. I really wanted to give you something that you could do that would be deep inner work, especially for right now when we're in quarantine, and some of these things may be coming up in greater levels for some of you who maybe have never slowed down long enough to really sit and process everything that you've gone through. So I hope that this video has helped you. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel below and turn on the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel.